In my last video, I was talking about patterns and the generational practices in your bloodline. And so I've kind of done a little bit of a mapping. It's a generic mapping, and I probably will come up with a better system to better help you to be able to do that. Or you may come up with it for yourself. But here it is. So here I mapped out from my great grandmother, great great grandmother, great grandmother, grandmother, and so on and so forth. And then I wrote out some attributes about each person's personality. These are my children down here. And then you can have as many as you would like. You can make this as big as you want. You can put this on a poster board with pictures and everything. And so the way that you want to write down some things about the person's personality or their life that you know and you're able to verify for yourself. Now, if you look here, you can see my mom was a hard worker. I was a hard worker. My mom was a hard worker. My grandma was a hard worker. My great grandmother was a hard worker, but she also loved to cook. She loved to travel. So her life was a little bit different. She was an only child. So it may have been a situation where if she went straight from her parents' house to being in a relationship, um, she may not have been working. She may have just been traveling. And so, which is actually what happened. But here you can see where there are things that would repeat. So I'm going to use this area right here concerning myself. If for any reason, so I am a business owner. I also have been an employee multiple times. And as a worker, as an employee, I'm a hard worker. I understand what it is I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to do. I'm trainable. And so, well, as a business owner, it might have brought up, just being a business owner may have brought up issues of stability, like knowing when your finances will come in, depending on the training that you've had and the understanding of the financial literacy concerning your business. Stability might be something that you may have struggled with. If you struggle with that part, you may need to get an additional job in order to fund your business. During that time, your children may have been negatively affected by the instability of the funding coming in some ways. So they may be less likely to become a business owner, or they may hold some resentment concerning you being a business owner. They may also hold some resentment concerning you being a hard worker, which means that you're barely ever home, which means they may not have been able to do different things. Where would that have repeated? It's possible in my life, if I'm looking at my life between myself and my mother, that could have been a theme for myself, for my mother, and also with my grandma being a hard worker, it could have been a theme for her as well, creating animosity and different issues of resentment. If you don't know where those things come from, you can't identify them and you cannot navigate through them so that the generation that comes after your children, or even dealing with it within your children, even if they're adults, being able to identify how that would have affected them, being able to speak on how they would have felt, things they would have missed out on, having a general understanding of that. When you go deeper into your bloodline, the generational practices, and understand how they affect others, then you're better able to hear them. You're not only better able to hear them, but you're better able to understand yourself, why you do things the way that you do them. There are people who had parents who didn't allow them to go anywhere. So now they don't know how to sit down. They don't know how not to be a part of, a part of every party, every trip, they just don't know how. And it's because they've never learned balance. And so when you have situations where there is no balance, it's either or, you will struggle with having balance and understanding what that balance looks like, and identifying those belief systems around balance for yourself, or the belief systems that were put in place by those who came before you, is going to be very important, because they definitely affected the balance that you created for those who came after you. So this is just a little rough draft. I'm going to come up with a better system that will help to better be able to connect some dots. Spirit is working with me right now. But if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I would love to answer your questions and also to maybe come up with some new ideas how I can better help you to be able to navigate this to heal more, because I'm your healing bestie.